Hello people, today I'm going to be giving you a short video about how to properly set up a shisha and how to, like, the best tips and tricks on how to get the best flavour, best smoke, make it last the longest time and so on. So I'm just saying at the same time I'll be also reviewing my new shisha, which was the Kufi Aladdin. If you saw my other video you would have seen me putting it together and so on. So I'm just going to be actually lighting it up in this video and you get to see how the smoke comes out and so on. So firstly I'll be talking about how to fill the vase properly and how much water should be in there. So when setting up a shisha, you should always look at where your stem, which is the metal part, ends in the bowl. So you can see in mine roughly ends around here or something like that. That's the bottom, and when I fill it up with water I want it to cover a few centimeters above the end of that. So I'm gonna fill it up to maybe about here or something like that, and that's, as you can see, how it comes down, and I'm gonna fill it to about here. And the reason you don't want to overfill or underfill is because if you underfill the vase, what will happen is the smoke wouldn't be able to pass through the water properly to be filtered properly because there won't be enough water in there. And if you overfill it, what will happen is the smoke that is being stored where the water isn't. So basically what happens with shisha is when I inhale, the smoke comes from the top of here, air comes through here, gets heated by the coal, goes through the tobacco, the heated air, so it gets that flavour of the tobacco, goes down this stem, goes into this metal stem and comes out off the bottom, and then the smoke will travel up the water, being filtered as it does, and then remain in here. So as I'm inhaling, the smoke that I'm actually inhaling is a smoke that has been stored in here for since the last time I pulled, and the smoke that's actually coming down is just replacing it and being stored here. So it's not the smoke that I'm having. So what happens is the cooler the smoke is and the longer it has had to remain in this chamber to be cooled down, the smoother and the better it comes out. So you want the smoke to be able to, you want there to be enough space between the water and the chamber for the smoke to be cooling down. But if you leave too much space, then there will be too much smoke and the smoke will become stale and then it will taste horrible. So you want it to be just right. So as I said, from the bottom of where your stem ends, you want it to be up to around, so I will fill it up to around here, so about, let's say, 5 centimeters or something above that, above where it ends. And I'll come back with when I've filled it up and then move on to the next step. So my vase is now filled, and as you can see, I've filled it. As you can see, it's filled up to here and the bottom was around here. So as you can see, about a few centimeters of filling. And don't forget, because my vase is also wide and it has a lot of area, I can afford to fit it much more because there's still a lot of space for the smoke to be in here in. Whereas in the normal ones that come down, you can't fit it as this high because then there'll only be a little bit of space and about this much circumference. Another tip when filling with water is the best type of water to use is cold water, freezing water. Some people even put crushed ice in the bowl. The reason is because the colder the liquid that is in the vase, the colder the smoke becomes. That's the whole point. It's supposed to cool down the smoke. And the colder the smoke is, the smoother and the better it tastes and the smoother it comes out. So you want this to be cold water always, and you can put some crushed ice in there and everything just to cool it down even more. Another thing you can do is if you want to enhance flavour, then you can add whatever you want in there. Like some people add alcohol, some people add, for example, dilute, some people add orange juice, squash, anything that you can think of. People add it, and it goes well with some flavours. So for example, if you add, let's say, with grape, you can add some grape juice or something like that. Do you know what I mean? And it does genuinely make a difference, especially like when you add a strong flavour, like some alcohols out there. They make a strong flavour. I know some of the Muslim people won't be, adding that, but it's just for the general shisha smokers. So once we fill the water up, we're going to move on to doing the flavour in the bowl. Now this is going to be a bit of a dirty thing, so I'm going to set up my camera and then I'll come back to you. So when it comes to packing your bowl, what you want to do is you want to make sure that the flavour you put in there is in bits, and you don't just want to take a big chunk out and just stick it in there, because the flavour in here, for example, as you can see in this, it's all clamped together. It's just one big thing, and this doesn't allow air to pass through it. It just burns around the edges. So you want air to actually pass through that flavour as it's going through it, and that's why your hands will get dirty. Also, if you got the tongs, the spiky ones that they send you with when you buy some shishas, you can just use the tongs to like split it apart, and then still like you want to put it in small bits. So here I've got genuine alpaca plum flavour, and I've got some fake apple, but you know, I'm just gonna stick it in there just for this video. I don't advise fake flavors. No matter how cheap they are, they taste horrible. It's always the genuine for me. But I just got this lying around, and I just thought, you know, just stick it in there. So I'm gonna start with some of this. So what I do is I literally grab bit by bit to split it around a bit, and when I have it, I grab it with one hand like this, and I literally use the tip of my fingers to get small tiny bits and just put it around, evenly distributed around the bowl. So as you can see, I'm distributing this just around like that. You want to make sure that it's always, you know, not filled in on one side and so on. So I'm just, you know, it does get to be a messy job, but so what you want to do is you want to pack it to around about a few millimeters below the line of the bowl, because if you overpack it, the flavour will actually, I mean the coal, when you stick it on there, will actually sit on the flavour and directly burn the top half, and the bottom, without the bottom half being burnt, you'll just lose all taste because the top half just carries on being burnt. So as you can see, there's like a small, it's a few millimeters below, if I just push it down a bit, the line, so that there's a small air gap between the actual coal, the foil with the coal, and the flavour itself. And as you can see, when you look down this, it's spacious, there's holes in there. Like if I was to suck it through, air will be able to travel through that very easily, as you can see. Whereas if I just stuck a big chunk in, it will be very hard to inhale, it will be very hard to like burn, it just wouldn't work. So once you've done that, I'm just going to go wash my hands now, and then I'll show you how to do the foil. So in the next step, I'll be teaching you how to do the foil and the holes properly. So let's take a sheet of foil here, and when I wrap it round, I want to make sure that it's airtight all the way around, because if air comes out of this, then it's not going to, you're not going to be inhaling the flavour, you're going to be inhaling just normal air, and it's going to be shit smoke, and the flavour's not going to be there that you're expecting. So firstly, I just keep doing this all the way around, and then some balls have like a slight indent around here, as you can see. So what I do is I just do that kind of thing, so that as you can see, it sits perfectly around. Look at that line in there, you see. So I just do that all the way around, and now I know that it should be as airtight as it can be. As you can see, that is perfectly wrapped around. Now when it comes to the holes, this is a big mistake that a lot of people who don't know much about how to properly do shisha makes. If you make big holes using anything larger than a pin, it's going to burn your flavour very, very quickly, and it's not going to last at all. Do not put big holes, and do not put too many holes either, and don't make them too close to each other, because the whole point of shisha is that the tobacco is not actually physically burning like it is when you light a cigarette. It's actually just being heated, and if you make big holes, then the coal has contact with the tobacco and it burns it, and you just get this disgusting, it just becomes ash. So what I do is I just use an earring, just the tip of an earring. Some people use pins, some people use even needles, thicker needles, because the normal needle is too thin. So just make sure it's about that size, if you can see that over there, about that size. So if I just finish doing this, and I'll show you how I mean. And you don't want too many holes either, but you don't want too little either. So what I usually do is I do rings. So I'll do an outside ring, and an inside ring, and an inside ring inside of that. So that's 3 rings, and then 1 in the middle. And then I'll just look around for any spaces I can find where I can fit another one in. Like for example, here I can fit one in. maybe here I can fit one in, just like that. And this is how you should keep it. Not too many, not too little, and that size holes. That is perfect for getting the best flavour and making it last the longest. So now I'm going to stick this on here. The coal's done, the foil's done, the holes are done, and the water's done. The only thing left is now the coal.